Hello and welcome guys. So in this lecture we will start to add materials to our models. So let's just go into the viewport shading and first let's just press F12 and render our scene out. If you will closely notice right over here, the shadows look like really choppy and have like these jagged edges over here and like a little bit over here as well. So there is like a very simple fix for this. Select your light source. So in our case, we have the sunlight as the light source, and then just go into the shadows section. Over here, you can see if you enable or disable it, the shadows would be enabled or disabled. You can enable jitter from over here, and just by doing that, now if you press F12, the shadows would be a lot better, as you can see. If I disable this right now, sorry, not this, disable jitter and press F12, you can see we get these jagged edges. I will press J to replace this, replace the slot, and then enable jitter and then press again F12 so that we can render in the new slot. If you press J now, you can clearly see the shadows look a lot better now. We also had like some light leaking right over here, which is also kind of fixed. So yeah, just enable this option. It is pretty good. And then we can now move on to adding materials. So let's just start from the ground. So press tab and first what I will do is let's press slash and first I will just separate them all out. So select all of the faces on your ground. Make sure you only select the faces that are at the bottom like this. Then you can press P and separate the selection. Although we can like add materials over here as well and like add different materials and give them like assign them to different faces, it would make it a little bit easier if we just separate them out like this as well. Next, we can just select the roof as well and we can separate that out like this. Press P and separate the selection. So now we have like the walls as separate and the roof and the ground as well. Let's press slash once again. Go into the shading tab so that we can also see our nodes right over here and go into object shader type. So first let's select the ground and click on new. So to add a new material, rename this to ground. And let's see, I won't be like adding to like complex materials. All of them are going to be like pretty simple. So let's just select the color. So I've already like selected my color. You can like fiddle around with this and find the exact color that you want to go for or like the kind of color combination that you want to choose. You can also take like some ideas from the reference images as well, like what kind of color combination you want to go for. I've already decided mine, so what I will do is I will just copy the color code, and if you want to copy that, you can use that as well. So I will just click on base color and paste it over here in the hex code. You can copy it if you want to. I'll press enter, and this is the color that I would be going for. Now what you need to do is just set the roughness to like a low number. So let's set this to 0.05 maybe for now. Yeah, for the ground we will be going with something like this. I think I will just set the roughness to 0 only to get like these nice shiny reflections. And then we can select the roof object, add a new material, rename this to roof. And for this one, we will be going with something like very simple brick texture. So press Shift A and add a brick texture node. Plug the color into the base color. And right now we have something like this. So let's just try to adjust the settings and create something nice looking. I'll set the offset to 0 so that we don't have like this kind of offset. All the brick lines are matching with each other this way. Then we can also decrease the scale. For the color, for now, I will just set the color to completely white for both of them so that it is a little bit easier to look at. Next, we can also obviously decrease the mortar size because we don't want it to be this much. So something very small, 0.001. I think that works nicely. I will also decrease the roughness for this as well. And yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Next, what we can do is we can just adjust the colors maybe a little bit So just make it like a little bit yellowish, just to add like a bit of color variation. Let's press F12 and see it. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. You can press J to compare it with the old render. What we will also do is we will be adding like lights to these, like obviously the lights we have created. We will add like an emission material to them to make them look a little bit better, and also to get like a little bit more light in our scene, because right now it is like kind of dark. So what we can do is we can first add the lights to them. So select this and just go into the material section, first create new, and this one can be like the base material, and then create another slot and create new, and this one can be your emission, because we only want to add the emission to like this face, this face right over here. So let's select the emission and change the color to something else. You can see nothing really happens because all of the objects right now have only the base material. So press tab, select this face and select the emission material, and then hit assign. And now you can see only this face has like the emission material, and the rest of them have like the base material. So this way we can like easily differentiate between them. So now we can select the emission. The rest of them already like got the same material because we are using the array modifier. So yeah, now for the emission material, it's pretty simple. Let's just select the principled BSDF and delete it. Press Shift A and add in an emission shader. Now plug this in. So if you go back to your render, and you won't see the changes right away because it is set to 1. But if you increase the power for this to, let's say, something like 5, let's press F11, press J, press F12, and you can see we have added like a decent bit of light in our scene. Obviously, we have added some noise as well, but we can, I think, tackle that by increasing like the samples to maybe 256. As you can see, the light noise has decreased by a lot because we have increased the samples for our render. And yeah, I think this looks pretty good. We have like a decent bit of light in our scene. Let's hit save now and continue. Next, what we can do is we can add like the material to these walls. So let's select the walls, create new, and create the wall material. And it's going to be like pretty simple, nothing too complex. But the way we are going to add like a bit of variation is we can add like a edge loop. So press Ctrl R and add edge loop right over here. Hit right click to place it like this. Or wait, what I will do is press Ctrl R, press E to flip it like this to make it straight so that it follows the loop on the top like this. If you press F now, you can basically flip between the bottom side loop and the top side loop. So press F and make it straight like this. And then we can press Ctrl R and add edge loops like all over them, and just try to like match them in a straight line. So how we can do that? Select this one, press G then Z, make sure vertex snapping is selected, press G then Z and hold Control. Select this one, press G then Z, hold Control right over here, and hold Alt, select it all, press G then Z and hold Control. Now all of them are at least in a straight line like this. So for this wall material, I'm just gonna keep it like the base material only, like what we have right now. I'm not gonna change it. Add new material and rename this one to like something like a blue wall. And the way we are gonna do this is press tab and just select all of these faces. First, let's select the blue wall and change the color to something random, just anything for now. And now select only the faces at the bottom that you have just created like this, and then hit assign. Select the blue wall and then hit assign. This way, this like bottom part will have like a separate material, and we can create like some kind of variation going on. Obviously, I think it is too high right now. So just select all of these edges. So hold Shift and Alt and just select them all and move them down like this. We can also do it right over here as well. So press tab. I think the height for this is already set. Sorry, first let's add the materials. So this time don't click on new because we are gonna add like existing materials. So just click on over here and select the wall and then add a new slot. But instead of clicking on new, just click on here and add the blue wall. Now you can press tab on this and just select these faces right over here. And then select the blue wall, hit assign. I think in my opinion, I will just undo it and I will only select this face and then select the blue wall, hit assign. Because I think this way it adds like a nice bit of variation with the pillars having different colors and the walls having different. And now to just fit it all together, just select the complete loop over here, press G, then Z and snap it right over here. So all of them like match perfectly. But I do think that it is like a bit too high. So select both of them at once, press tab, deselect this and just select this edge right over here. And then you can press G then Z and move it downwards like this. Yeah, in my opinion, this feels a lot better. And now to obviously set for the color. Again, I have already selected on a color. You can choose whatever like color you want to. You can create like various different combinations. And this is like the nice thing about it. The one that I will be going for is this. So you can copy my code if you want to. And yeah, I think this gives it like a nice bit of combination with the yellowish and the blue tones right over here. All right, guys, let's continue. Hit save on this. Select the doors now. Click on new and create a new material for the door. For this as well, it is pretty simple. I will be going with like a yellowish beige kind of material. So you can select the color for that as well. I'll just copy paste the color. If you want to choose the code, you can do so. So this is like the very simple color for the door that I will be going. Now just select all of the doors and select this one at last to which you added like the material just now. And then press Ctrl L and link materials. This way all of them will have like this same material. And you can like keep on, you can see we can like compare the difference between the two. And you can once again press F12 and compare like the difference. You can see the scene is coming along pretty nicely. The materials that we have added look pretty good. Obviously you can choose whichever colors you want to. I will also be creating like a nice color variation later on when we like finish the course completely. Then we can also create one another color variation for this scene. So yeah, that would be pretty cool. Let's just hit save now. And I think this much is pretty good for this lecture. In the next lecture, we will obviously continue and add the remaining materials like the iron material over here. We also have to add like the glass material and things like that. So yeah, let's just continue from over here in the next lecture. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.